The cold wind cut through the night like a knife, the kind that makes even strong adults shiver, but she was just a little girl, thin, trembling, wrapped in nothing but a torn sweater that could barely count as clothing. People passed her on the street as if she were invisible, as if she didn't exist at all, and she stood there hugging her arms tightly around herself, trying to stop her teeth from chattering. That's when the black luxury car rolled to a slow halt in front of her. The windows were tinted, the headlights sharp, the kind of car only the richest people drove. She didn't step back. She didn't run. She just whispered a small prayer that the person inside might notice her. When the door opened and the millionaire stepped out, she looked up with eyes too old for her age, eyes that carried storms and stories no child should ever hold. Then she said softly, "Sir, can I please have a blanket?" He froze. He had heard requests for money, for food, even for shelter, but never for something this small, this basic, this heartbreaking. Daniel Hayes, one of the city's youngest millionaires, was not the type to stop his car for anything. He was always rushing from one meeting to another, from one skyscraper to the next. But something about the girl had made him press the brakes without thinking. She stood under a flickering streetlight, her lips blue, her small hands shaking. He swallowed, taken aback, and asked, "A blanket? Why a blanket?" The girl hesitated, her eyes darting down the street as if she feared someone might appear. "Because," she whispered, "my baby brother is cold. And I can't lose him too." The last word, too, hit him like a punch to the chest. Daniel felt his heart twist in a way he hadn't felt in years. His voice softened without his permission as he asked, "Where is he?" She pointed toward a narrow alley beside an abandoned shop. Daniel followed her, his expensive shoes stepping over puddles and broken pieces of concrete, and what he saw next made his breath catch. A tiny boy no older than 3 sat curled up behind a cardboard box, his face flushed from cold, his breathing uneven. He wasn't crying, he didn't even have the strength. A thin towel, damp from the rain earlier, was wrapped around him. Daniel felt something inside him crack. He turned to the girl again. "Where are your parents?" The girl lowered her head. "Mom, she got sick last winter. Dad left long before that. I'm all he has now." Daniel stared. She couldn't have been more than 11. An 11-year-old playing mother, protector, provider. The weight she carried was bigger than her small shoulders. He didn't ask more. His voice shook slightly as he said, "Come with me." She stepped back immediately, fear flashing in her eyes. "No, sir. I don't need money. I don't need anything else. Just a blanket. They yell if they see us near rich people. Please. I just want my brother warm." It was the sincerity in her voice, the desperation mixed with innocence, that shattered him completely. Daniel bent down, lifted the shivering little boy carefully, and wrapped his own coat around him. "You're coming with me," he said gently but firmly. "Both of you." The girl panicked. "Sir, please. They'll think we're causing trouble. No one is going to blame you," he replied. "Not tonight." He held her hand, guiding her to the car. She hesitated only a moment before following him, her fear slowly replaced by a fragile hope she didn't dare trust. As they sat in the warm car, the heater blasting life into their freezing bodies, the boy finally stirred, opening his eyes. "Yeah, warm," he murmured. She smiled through tears. "I told you I'd find something." Daniel's chest tightened so hard it hurt. He had built companies, led boardrooms, signed contracts worth millions, but he had never witnessed strength like this. When they reached his penthouse, Daniel wrapped the children in soft blankets, made them hot soup, and watched as the little boy slowly regained color. Leah kept thanking him over and over, but Daniel couldn't stop thinking of the moment she had asked for a blanket instead of money. A child who had nothing wasn't greedy. She didn't ask for food, clothes, help, or safety. Only warmth for her brother. That night, when she finally fell asleep on the couch beside the boy, Daniel stood watching them, realizing something painful. He had spent years making money, chasing success, building walls, and here were 2 children tearing them all down with nothing but innocence. Something inside him shifted forever. Morning sunlight lit the room as Leah opened her eyes, startled to see the millionaire sitting across from her, waiting. She sat up quickly. "Sir, we'll leave. Thank you for letting us stay the night." Daniel shook his head. "No. You're not going back to the streets." She froze, confused. "But sir," Daniel leaned forward. "Yeah, you saved your brother. You protected him with everything you had. Now let me help protect you both." Tears filled her eyes, the kind that come from years of holding everything inside until a single moment makes it safe to let go. She whispered, Why are you being so kind?" Daniel smiled softly, almost sadly. "Because last night you reminded me what humanity looks like. From that day on, Daniel became more than a rescuer. He became their guardian, their safe place, their family. The story of the poor girl who asked only for a blanket traveled through the city, touching hearts everywhere. People cried hearing how her small request changed a millionaire's life. And when Leah later stood on a stage years later, accepting an award for her charity work helping homeless children, she said with a trembling voice that echoed through the hall, "I never asked for money. I only asked for warmth. But what he gave me was a life." The room rose to its feet in a standing ovation, many wiping tears. Even Daniel, now old and gray, stood in the front row, his proud smile breaking as he whispered to himself, "You broke my heart that night, little one, and you rebuilt it too."